So, for example, if real quick, if I, as Daretham, wanted to copy, say, a hammer attack from Rousseau,
Correct.
then I would spend chakra to do that.
Correct. You would effectively do like a hammer attack that Rousseau had just done.
Neat.
Yes.
Tyrion, you want to split that?
We'll discuss.
In addition to that, you guys do not have to slot any dragons. You just have all of your chakra abilities equipped. Just by default, you have them all available to you. Okay? In addition to that, Rousseau, this is what I was trying to give Rousseau last week, but we didn't do the ceremony last week. This is what I was trying to give Rousseau last week. Rousseau, because you are a scaled one, you have access to every single chakra ability across the board. You just have access to everybody's. So pairing that with mimicry, I think that's really powerful. So you can do the Captain America throw, you can do the spell stuff if you cast spells, you can do hyper speed or whatever. You just have it all. And automatic, you don't have to slot anything, you just have it. So that is what you get for the chakra stuff. In addition, I'm not done, because you're a demigod. That's not enough. Your dragon form is now a high dragon. You can transform into a high dragon now, and I will give you guys the stats for that. In addition to that, everyone across the board jumps to level 20. You are now effectively level 20, because you're a demigod. And I think that's enough. I think that's it for now.
What?
Well,
What? What?
Whole level curve, just get it.
You have 4 Magister Siderials to kill. So
As
kill
your
them.
fucking heart out, Guardians!
okay, guys, we need help with the leveling up. Let's go.
Oh, my plans. My plans can come true. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Because of that, there's no need for RP XP. You guys do fantastic with your RP. You're just level 20. So I think that'll be cool.
Okay. Oh shit.
All right. And is there anything else that you would like to do as you close the ceremony, at least?
Yes. So as you all stand there, reveling in how awesome it is to be a demigod, Daztrul will step forward, address the very large crowd, and thus begins the celebration of the Great Five. And he himself will turn into a high dragon and basically do a swoop around the stadium for returning to his spot. And that will end the ceremony and begin the celebration.
And if I didn't specify, for the Captain America ability, Rousseau, you can use, instead of a shield, you can use objection as the Captain America ability.
So basically, what you're saying is we have Captain America and Thor on our team.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you want to, and the thing is, if you want your hammer to come back to your hand, then you have to spend the chakra point for boomerang shot. For it to return, you have to spend the chakra point, but you have 10 to play with.
Wait, but the shield doesn't need to be returned. So is that a downgrade of the hammer, or?
I feel like it's because Rousseau can flex to all the others. It's more costly.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
it's like he's
because it is a Pasha specific ability, so you gotta throw it and then.
We have our tree. He has all the trees.
That. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to spend all of this afternoon leveling up.
So cool. So there's going to be some sort of festival, and so again, you are free to RP with whoever you think you need to RP. There will be RP after you leave the Chi Isles, just an FYI. There's actually going to be a lot of RP after you leave the Chi Isles. But if you wanted to RP something during the festival itself, you're welcome to. I don't know if Daztrul wanted to approach Daretham at this time. That's up to him.
Actually, no. The celebration would have been just that. Basically, just a party to celebrate you guys and how awesome you currently are. They real basically it's just a completely upscaled version of what you guys experienced your first night here. Dazshul actually won't approach Darathim during the party. He's just having fun like everybody else. However, later that night, after everyone has finally fallen asleep, Darathim will receive a knock on his door.
And just to let everyone know, throughout the celebration itself, there will be scaled ones who will approach the 5 of you individually to like congratulate you. It's like, oh, congratulations, Avatar of the Throat, or congratulations, all that good stuff, just so you know.
So I'm gonna set this up as like a little bit after the celebration, not as late night into when Darathim had his whole thing, but because of the massive energy surge and the fact that Russo had that other thing kind of dumped on him, it seems like he's been struggling to like hold it down a little bit more, to the point of where he goes to the beach and he's kind of slumped over as the glow's cutting on and off. And I'd assume Tyrion would be in the general vicinity.
So I would actually say Tyrion would probably be on the beach and so like he's on the sand, like he's just sort of looking at the ocean. So he's just sort of like there on the sand, you know, just like sort of watching at ease, sort of looking there, and then he looks towards Russo, who's oh, Russo, you okay?
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Okay, you aren't. You kind of stand up. You need if I help with something?
I just felt off since the trial. Like,
what's going on?
You know, the smoke, all that happened, the glow, it feels like it's welled more within me.
Oh. I could see that, yeah. Will you be okay? Do you need any assistance?
I really don't know. With that, Russo almost kind of like chucks up a little bit, throw up into the water. Okay, right. Probably.
Okay, alright. I'm going to inspect him quickly. Like, just make a do-over, but even like my medical knowledge has nothing on like... This is probably just like nauseous or like, you know... So you just say, I think you're a little bit nauseous. Maybe the old energy just sort of spiked through it. Maybe a day or two will pass by. As he pats him on the back.
Just don't feel great. Tyrion.
What?
And I'd say like the faint glow's kind of gotten a bit more imminent as he started talking. Do you think this was the right move?
I can't answer that for you. That's up to you. That's up to you if you think it's a good move. Personally, for me, it gave me clarity.
How so?
The trial. It was my trial. Into Winter. You represented me also. Kind of weird, imaginary you representing me.
Over what? How you shouldn't be guilty of killing a Marin or whatever?
Actually, to reduce sentence. To show what I did. You were pretty good. Helped me a lot.
With that, Russo kind of just heaves like another bit of throw up out and kind of wipes it off of his lip.
There you go.
Are you doing any better with that?
Yeah, I am. I'm not second guessing what I did there. At least I feel sorry, but shouldn't let it weigh out on me. And you? Are you okay? Like, other than this, you know, other than you having to spew.
I think it's for the best you guys were also scaled. But, I had one more talk with Destrul, and he...
Okay, alright. Okay. Let it out, let it out. Take the breath of fresh air, ocean helps.
I
We all do shitty things.
think
in
it
our
made me
lives.
realize a bit too
Burn
harsh and a little
so
too
many
expectant
other lives. But what?
in general.
In general?
I kept expecting others to come help me or help deal with stuff or fix things when I really should have just focused on it myself instead of waiting for others. And I shouldn't have scolded others when I was going through the same stuff.
Tyrion listens. He sort of is a little bit silent, letting you speak.
And then I realized I haven't been exactly what I thought I was, quite frankly, ever, even now.
Russo, we all change, right?
Yeah. I guess the adage goes. And then with that, Russo kind of like fiddles around in his jacket. And you'll actually see him take one of the dragon blood vials and without even like second guessing it, just kind of like downs it.
He just goes, "Are you? I'm not even gonna say that's sanitary or not, but actually, just do it." Yeah, they don't help you.
No, and then when his head drops down and some blood kind of drips out, he goes, "Hey." And I'd like to assume it's a little bit of just like side up on his mouth, just over the beach water with the blood dripping out. You keep what you kill, right?
Right. Russo, the past. We all make mistakes. So many crap. But doesn't mean that's what makes us, can change us. I think me and you have found some change.
And with that, like, it seems like drinking the blood almost kind of like stopped it entirely. Whew. Well, I'm not gonna lie and say that it wasn't one of the more awkward conversations I've had.
Yeah.
But
you're drinking blood also, so.
If you do want me to take you back to Tevinter when this is over, Tyrion, you just say the word.
I think we have more pressing matters than a simple solving a crime.
I'm saying when this is done.
Yeah. We will see. And he pats him on the back. Like, come on, big guy. I believe we need to get some resting.
Yeah.
And you need it. I know you're not. You seem fine, but after drinking a blood, I don't know if that's sanitary or not. But...
I'll be honest, I don't know why I did that. It's like my body reacted on its own.
I mean, maybe you can do it, maybe you just can't. Or maybe that's a secret to scaled ones. But if that means if they drink blood for themselves, so they can feel better, that's not humane. But really, no.
We'll just chuck it up to a fluke.
Sure.
See
yeah,
you.
You're you. You're what you are. You can do it, maybe. But no. What I meant is true, man.
Okay. And I think that's a good cutoff right there.
So I'm gonna say it's like the party's winding down.
Okay.
But like I still imagine there's things going on. I want to say that during the party, Pasha has been trying to repair the image of the Griffins for people rather than getting into more fights. So like she's been offering rides to like wingless scaled ones. It's kind of like, hey, come for a ride. It's great. Let them eat nugs. And so she's just kind of left the griffins with random scale ones, you know, and she's gone off to find Das Truhl. And when she finds him, I think she will wait, you know, like if he's talking to someone, she will wait respectfully until he has finished, and then she will approach him. And Draz, why do I want to say Draz? Why? I'm sorry. Das Truhl, might I have a word with you, please?
Ah, Basha, yes. Please, call me Daz. I believe we've come to a bit of familiarity.
Thank you. That would be appreciated. Daz, I wanted to ask you about something you said the other night. You said that...
He pales a bit at that.
More arguing. You said that my people were taken. I would like to know what you meant.
The Qunari, not necessarily your... It was spoken a bit out of haste. When I spoke of your people, I was being more specific about the Karsith Qunari. They were descended from our people, and they were essentially abducted. And that is what I was referring to. Again, my emotions were heated at the time, and I may have spoken in haste, and I hope I did not offend to too much degree.
No offense taken. Don't worry about that, Daz. So from what my people understand, we fled from other Karsith, came to Saharon, that is the island on which we now live, and we established the Qun. You are saying that is not the case?
It happened shortly before my father created the wards for our islands. A band of humans and elves and dwarves, ironically enough, came to our land, and they attempted to say they were creating a peace treaty. While we slept, they abducted many of our people and fled in the night. And when I say abducted, I say so because their dwellings were left in shambles. Some contained the deceased.
I don't suppose you would know what happened to these people after they were taken. Is it a mystery to you?
As I came to understand it from our limited knowledge of the outside world before the closing of our borders, they were inducted into a belief that was forced upon them. They were slaves for a time, made to feel as second class. As to how they developed after that, alas, I do not know.
Pasha thinks for a minute. Her face isn't not exactly blank, but it's quite like a like there isn't any pain or anger, upset. There's none of that. It's just a very
It's just intake.
Yeah. And Pasha's going to say, you know, it's funny. Rousseau once said to me, what would you do if you discovered that the Cune was based on lies? And I did not understand him at the time, and I'm afraid I still do not understand what he meant. The Cune is the Cune. Whether it is based on lies is irrelevant. Ashkari Koslun could have been a drunken dwarf who wrote absolute gibberish that somehow got turned into a language and we formed a little cult or whatever. It is irrelevant. The Cune is the Cune. We are what we are. It is an interesting story, Daz. Thank you for the telling.
You're welcome. Might I make a suggestion? Perhaps think of the Cune less as a people and more as a set of beliefs. Because then when you lump in people are very diverse, and so they create variables and fractures and can create issues. When you hold on to a set of beliefs, then you're just trying to do what you believe is right.
My dear, you are talking to someone who's had to prove they are Kunari more than any other horned Kunari would have under similar circumstances.
You know, Pasha, I, oddly enough, have come to have quite a great deal of respect for you. If I may, I would like to think of you as a friend.
Pasha, how big is Daztrul?
He is, I believe I had him at a solid 7 feet.
Okay. Pasha will point over towards the griffin and says, I do not consider anyone a friend until they have taken a ride on a griffin.
Would you perhaps settle for a flight with a griffin?
That would be doable.
Then I accept. Would you perhaps join us?
Yes. Yes. Pasha will mount up Valor, and they will just soar for a little bit.
Awesome.
Making miscellaneous chit-chat as they go, I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Nice. Perfect. Cool. The skies of the Chi Isles are very sweet smelling and fresh, and will probably make the entire flight even more grand and even more pleasurable than ever before.
And I think during mid-flight, Daztrul will share with her a bit of spiced chocolate-covered peanuts.
Ooh.
One of his favorite delights.
Nice. They would probably go really well on cookies or biscuits.
Oh, Pasha will provide that, like, let's make a new thing.
There you go. Cool.
Definitely I think he and Darren would have a room together. So maybe they're getting ready for bed, and Darren would go to the door and answer. That's true. What can I do for you?
I am sorry for the late hour, but if you have a moment, I would like to speak with you in private.
Alright. Darren, won't be too long, hopefully. And then he'll follow you.
He'll lead you just outside to a small garden, and he'll sit at a bench.
If you would join me, please.
And I'll sit down.
I don't know how to put this lightly, but your presence, you being here has actually been quite difficult for me.
I can imagine.
However, moments ago, I received a vision of sorts. It was my mother. It was the first time I've seen her since my vision of her causing the taint. She directed me to an item of hers that I believe she wishes for you to have. Do you know much about my mother, Ryuthliel the Ancient?
Only what you've told us.
Well, before the taint happened, she was our archmage. She taught the ways of magic, and it died with her passing. I'm not exactly sure why she wishes you to have this ring, but I believe it will help in your coming endeavors, and perhaps it will help rest her soul and redeem her for her ultimate sin. Please, use this how you will, hopefully to do good.
And he'll hand you a ring that it's slightly tarnished. It's obviously been worn. It's still very beautiful and intricate, but it was very obviously loved by someone.
I don't know your future. I just hope that this will help correct some of the wrongs my mother created.
So what you have here, Dartham, is the Ring of the Goddess's Inner Peace. This allows Dartham to have full mastery of the Taint. When he activates Taint Magic mode, he can spend chakra points to add the same amount to his armor or defense. And you can distribute it however you see fit. If you're like, I want to spend 4 chakra points, I'll put 3 in armor, 1 in defense, 2 armor, and 2 in defense. Like whatever you want to do it. However you want to disperse it. In addition, your unarmed strike with your claws deal 2d6 plus whatever number of chakra points you spent on your armor and defense. Of penetrating damage. Yes, of total. So if you put 5 to distribute within your armor and defense, you get 2d6 plus 5 unarmed strike damage with your claws that are penetrating damage, and you now have a reach of 2. You have a reach of 2 squares with your claws.
Is it still using dex to attack instead of strength? Or I guess it would be dex because it's sort of brawling. So is
which one's
dex
higher? Which one's higher for
Dex
you?
Is higher for me. I mean, magic is my highest.
Then sure, it can be dex.
Okay.
Then yes, it can be dex. You can use you may do an unarmed strike as a standard action like normal. In addition to that, though, you may do an unarmed strike as a free action once per turn. So in other words, you can do claw in one round, or you
Claw
can
spell.
act the way you normally do, and then do another claw, and do a
Nice.
single claw attack. It's up to
Yeah.
you. You just get it for free.
And the extra claw stuff and taint magic stuff is only when I activate taint magic mode. It's not when I'm out of it, right?
While you're in taint magic mode, you have the
get all this
ability.
stuff. Yeah,
You
okay.
get all that stuff while you have it active. This extra attack stacks with any ability that grants you additional attacks, like a stunt, for example.
Got it.
So it stacks on top of that.
Nice. I gotta increase my dex.
So after giving you the ring, he'll just nod and
Thank you for, well, just being here and being you. While it being difficult, it's actually been rather cathartic in a way. I wish you and your friends all the best. And please, if you decide you and your friends are welcome here, you are, for in all intents and purposes, you are now scaled ones yourselves.
Thank you, Destrul. I've had a long journey, and I can say that I think I'm finally at peace.
Then may, through yours, my mother finally find hers.
and with that, he'll get up and leave you alone for a moment in the gardens till you leave.
Mm-hmm. And he would look at the ring a little bit and put it on. And then he would just very slowly activate taint magic mode. And hark, when he activates it, because I have the lyrium cure in me at the same time as having this, which masters the taint, what happens?
So because of that, normally when you activate taint magic mode, it's black, it's dark, it's creepy. But with this ring combined with the cure that you've been taking, it has this more ethereal glow to you, to the point that I don't know if you want to refer to it as the taint anymore. It doesn't feel like you're tainted. It almost feels like you're blessed. So tomato, however you want to call it, but visually it looks more ethereal than tainted.
And kind of when I put it on and stuff, but besides the glow, maybe it's less black, it's more like a white kind of glow that comes off.
Sure. It could be whatever you want the glow to look like.
Okay. Physically, does he change at all?
Up to you.
Okay.
I leave that up to you. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Yeah. So he does. As he puts it on and activates it, it doesn't look like he's no longer a darkspawn. He still looks like a darkspawn, but noticeably the tentacles start to kind of shimmer and shift, and it actually turns back into hair. And his features start to shift and morph. His hands still have those sharp claws, but they're more human in proportions. His body kind of goes back to more elven proportions. And his skin, instead of being this cracked, like dry, diseased-looking gray, goes to more a pale gray that still doesn't look natural, but is there. And I think the veins that before were inking black over him now have, because there's lyrium in there, now have a blue color, like a very, very faint dark blue.
Like it.
Yee!
His eyes are still red though, because that's dope.
Yep, I like that.
And he'd return. I don't know how Darren reacts to the new appearance, because I think when he takes it off or when he activates it, it's still the same.
Do you wanna do role play that now, or do you want to role play that after? So it's okay. Cool.
I'm fine either way, but we can do it now. So everyone else is cool with that.
Yeah.
Everyone's cool with that. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll say that Darren is.
Darren doesn't even notice this, so he's just like, oh, okay, and he goes back and he's not noticing this change, the like slight blue veins and the gray skin, hair, etc.
Darren is floating in midair. She actually is floating up a tree, and her gown, her dress is picking fruit from the tree, and she's bringing it down as you're approaching her, and then she'll turn towards your direction with a smile, and then she gives you a little bit of a double take.
Yeah, I mean, smile, and when he sees the double take, he just raises an eyebrow.
Daretham, is that you?
Yeah, and his voice isn't as scratchy anymore. It's actually back to his normal voice, and he hears it and stops and kind of looks at his hand. He looks at the ring. Huh.
Wow. I guess it comes with the demigod territory? Your appearance changes?
No, I was the same after the. I think it's this, and he pulls up the ring. It's Deathjewel gave it to me. It's the ring of his mother, the one who created the taint.
Wow. And that caused you to look. Well, you don't quite look like an elf, but you also don't quite look like an awakened either. So it's this really exotic hybrid. I like it, she says. Not that I didn't like the way that you looked before, but, this is sort of, if I were to, go over to get a makeover, I still look like me, but it's,
right.
It's a different taste, a different flavor of me.
And he kind of looks, his red eyes looking up at her, and he smirks. I mean, I think I can try to go back to the voice if you prefer that.
I mean, I did find the voice sexy too. She says, let me be honest.
Let's seek it. I can. All right.
We can have the best of both worlds. Because it's the best of both worlds. I feel like she would actually sing that.
And he'd laugh.
It's just from this art play that I saw called
I think I saw that one too.
Hannah Navarra or something. Hannah Navarra. Sorry.
Could we give it to you as a point of inspiration, please?
I just had to.
I am no longer a proud Navaran.
I heard though that the actor who plays Hannah Navarra is sort of took a turn at some point with her career.
I heard something about like a wrecking ball or something like that, yeah.
Some spherical object that she rides on, I think. I don't know. Suspended in midair. I was thinking about doing a routine like that, with my silks, but I just don't think I don't think I have the class for that.
It's certainly a take, I'd say.
Wow. It looks like our travels to this island has borne a lot of fruit for you.
I guess.
And I think at this point, he hasn't seen what he looks like yet, and he kind of looks over, and maybe there's a pond nearby, and he looks down and sees his reflection. Just kind of stops and looks. Kind of. His shoulders just kind of slump, but they just relax, and his body kind of relaxes as he leans into Darren.
Let's go to bed.
Bed sounds good. And she'll just, bring the fruit with them and fade to black. So,
Yep.
Cool.
Daretham will exit out with Darren. And I think maybe everybody's just at like a breakfast table, and he'll just sit down. Morning.
What the?
Daztrul just automatically starts blubbering like a baby.
Pasha, she's trying to keep everything push the surprise down. That's what he wants. So she. Have you done something new with your hair, Detham?
Yeah. Tentacles are kind of last style, so I decided to switch it up.
Sit. Just eating and just
Everybody can see that Darthan just has a shit-eating grin on his face as he's looking at your reactions.
Between sobs, Daztrol will just get out the ring.
He'll just nod and smile, and his smile softens as he looks at you. Thank you.
He'll excuse himself to go compose himself.
Maybe it is your. It's not on your face per se. Let's just go with it is your face. Do you have a mirror?
No, I don't. But why would I need a mirror? Is there something weird going on here?
Oh, I've got he looks through his bag looking for something shiny. I'm sure he can find a bronze something and holds it up.
Yeah, so that's me.
It's you, but it's not you. I got used to the tentacles.
And then he'll just laugh and go, well, I mean, I don't know if I could change it back. I don't really want to, but... And his voice is natural. It sounds healthy. It's not scratchy and such anymore.
I guess it'll be easier for you to go into town now?
Probably, yeah. I'll just need a healthy dose of makeup, but that's better than nothing.
Yeah. So, second question. How, or is it more wibbly-wobbly chakra magic thing?
Yes.
Oh.
He'll hold up his hand, and on his middle finger on his left hand, you see a very fancy ring, which is the ring of the goddess's inner peace in there. And he says, this was the ring that Drasthul's mother, the creature who was the original carrier of the Tate, the creator of it. It was her ring. And he gave it to me, and with the godhood, with the cure that I'm taking with this, now it didn't cure me, but I have mastery over it. It no longer controls me.
Could you potentially use this for the benefit of others?
I hope so.
Well, with anything, we'll have to experiment with it. He pulls out his notebook.
And he'll go ahead and start giving you a few of the symptoms he's already had, etc. He's able to change. He's not able to change back, but he can change his voice, and he absolutely doesn't have any infected blood, but he can make an infected, etc., etc.
Huh.
So now he looks like a very weird but cool amalgamation of his darkspawn form and his elf form.
Nice.
After they all had their thing, I'd like to think Russo was just kind of sitting by himself at the bar. Then he heard that, did you do something with your hair? Then his ears kind of perked up. Then Dartham would notice this as he turns around, and his topazzy eyes have a bit more of a seary glow from him drinking the dragon's blood. Oh, Dartham, you look less hideous than before.
Thank you.
New thing?
And he'll hold up a finger, and on his middle finger is a ring, which is what Drasthul described. A gift from Drasthul. It was the ring of his mother. And combined with the cure I was already taking, well, this. And he even activates taint magic mode, and you all can see that it's like the same thing that happens before, but instead of this inky blackness that kind of erupts, this soft blue glow that Leon would recognize and everybody else recognizes, the glow of lyrium, would start to emanate from him. Changed a few things.
Oh, well, you look good on it.
Thank you. It's not exactly how I used to look, but it's sort of a mix of the two.
He got the best of both worlds, is what Darren says. And Russo, you recognize that song immediately. You know that
As
song.
to how a terrible artist like Hannah Navarra stays in business, I have no idea. I mean, really, you'd think they'd pay attention to better bard bands like Cult of the Blue Oyster or ABBA. I mean, significantly better groups.
Come on, Russo. Hannah Navarra was a deep childhood memory that a lot of girls grew up with.
I respect that, but people did it better. That's just my opinion. It's a trend. They'll get over it.
Please tell me that Balin loves Hannah Navarra.
Oh.
Please tell
No,
me
he
he's a
had
fan.
no idea about Hannah before, but as soon as Russo returns, he's watching it with Violetta.
Hannah Navarra.
I failed.
Failed as a parent.
To protect him.
So speaking of Russo, I'm just gonna say maybe Russo at some point like pulls out the mirror, because maybe he checks on the mirror at some point in the mornings, and this time when you pull out the mirror starts to glow without you giving its activation word, and it looks like an object is passing through it, and what pops out of it appears to be a voodoo doll of some sort. The voodoo doll has a pin pinned on its head.
I'd like to think the thing just kind of flops out and lands on his lap. First off, I thought this thing wasn't a portal, and two, what did she want to tell me?
Roll a cunning.
15 with 3 stump points.
Okay. So, Russo, you obviously know what this is, but you also know that one way that the voodoo doll can be used properly is it requires a piece of hair pinned on the top of the doll's head.
So there's no hair on the doll currently.
There's no hair on the doll currently.
Huh. With that, Russo will kind of just yank a small pluck out and just...
You stick it in, and the doll starts to shake a little bit, and then it starts to like levitate slightly above the air, and then you can hear a voice speaking as if the doll itself was speaking. It's small, but you can hear it. It's the voice of your son, Balin. And the voice says, "Dear Daddy, guess what? Miss Violetta took me to the Guardian's hideout. It's called the Breach. It's so cool. They even have a beach here with real sand and a real big waterfall. There's also a big statue of this woman named Halashir. It's right next to this chocolate tree. I didn't know chocolate bars grow on trees. It smells so good every time I walk by it. And for some reason, there's also a lot of stairs here. Oh, the other day, Miss Violetta let me try on her bracer for the very first time. She said I was ready as long as I promised to be very careful. It felt so warm and comfy, Daddy. And she also said you can come visit and see me if you had a chance. Do you think you can maybe come see me soon? I think Miss Violetta said she'd like to see you too. Maybe bring her a present? Ooh, maybe she can get a hammer too. Oh, and can I talk to Mr. Daretham too? Miss Violetta said to pin another piece of your hair to get the rest of the message. And then the message stops.
With that, Russo's face is almost extremely soft. He just kind of puts his hand over his forehead. Okay. And he'll pull the other hair. I'd say Daretham can be there, like he would have had Daretham come over.
Alright, so Daretham can come over and you'll see this voodoo doll. And then Russo plucks another piece of hair and he attaches it to the doll. And again, a voice comes out, says, "Hi, Mr. Daretham. It's me, Balin. You should come visit me. I have a lot of things to show you. I can show you how I can turn a lantern on and off with my mind. It's like magic, but it's not like magic. At least, not the kind of magic you have. But it's still just as cool." Oh, okay. Arabella says she wants to play now, so I have to go now. But if you come visit, can you bring everybody else here too? There's plenty of room here at the Breach. Oh, and the circus is also here too, so I'm sure they'd love to see you as well. Oh, okay, Daddy. I'll see you later. I love you. Miss you. Bye. Clicks it off. And then the doll's done giving its message.
Oh god, I didn't realize how much I've missed his voice till now.
If Rousseau allows it, Darthan will just kind of like put an arm around Rousseau's shoulder and just like kind of give like a side hug.
What do you think we should do, Darthan?
Well, I'm not entirely sure what our plan is after this. Don't think there's much to do until we find out where the Siderials are. If you want to visit, we can.
If it would inconvenience everyone, I'd prefer to do that.
I highly doubt it will. Plus, Tyrion will get to see Tumble again, and he'll enjoy that.
I don't know. Have you seen how Nathan's been staring at him lately?
Well, that's even better. You get a love triangle.
I'm just gonna say Tyrion overhears this. You don't even have to roll, Skull.
I'm not even, he's just gonna look at them and he's just gonna give them like this a little bit angry look, but he's gonna keep his cool and he's gonna continue eating the fruit.
Yeah.
And he's gonna mop under his bread.
Can when Tyrion turns around angry, can Nathan be in the window like?
Yeah. I think Nathan's gonna be like.
What's going on?
Yeah, and definitely it's weird because Darthan has his elven face now, but he still has blood red eyes and his teeth are still like razor sharp. So it's kind of like when he gives the shit-eating grin, it's not creepy, but it is. Anyway, and then after that, Darthan would just look over at Rousseau and say, "You're a good father, Rousseau."
Yeah. Heck of a lot better than both of mine were.
So, where to next now?
I would like to say that before you guys leave, Daztrul would probably approach Leon and would have basically had a conversation coming to a bit more of an understanding that he is not his parents, and while he doesn't forgive his parents, he no longer blames him for what his parents did. And with Daztrul gifting him a small relatively small potted scaled fruit tree sapling.
I'm fine wherever. The hint seemed pretty obvious to go to the breach.
I mean, we can always go to Navarra and go to a Hannah Navarra concert instead. That's an option.
I think I'd rather prefer going to
Rousseau slowly assassinating this young lady, just like, let me Tyrion, line up the sights. Go, Tyrion, go.
She's on a wrecking ball right now. And,
we'll put you on the grassy knoll.
I got my eyes inside.
Okay, so you guys are going to say your farewells, and then you're going to transform into...
Everybody?
And just for funsies, I guess, since you just got the Highland Ravager, you might as well transform into the Highland Ravager. And so before your eyes, Daztrul, the group basically Megazords merges together, Power Ranger style, and forms this ethereal-looking high dragon form, Highland Ravager, that is semi-transparent. And they will fly into the skies, out of the Isles. And all of the scaled ones around you will be in awe and say, "Oh, wow. There goes the Avatar demigods."
He'll look after them and just sigh.
The world is either saved or we are all doomed.
They will nod in agreement. Okay. So you guys will be able to fly for about a day, because you actually are to the northeast-ish, east-north of the Anderfells. That's where you are, you realize. And so you'll spend like a day, maybe a day and a half, to make your way towards the Frostbacks, which is where one of the entrances into the breach is. The breach, the Guardians' hideout is known because that's how they've been trying to help people, is through commerce within the breach, basically. So a lot of people come and go. It's not a secret. And that will take us... So this is the breach. This is the, as I said, it is the hideout of the Guardians. And so hopefully everything is labeled clearly so you know where everything is. I just placed NPCs where I think they naturally would go. Nathan's been here several times, so he knows his way around this place. And I think the circus has been here once or twice as well. But I placed a whole bunch of characters here. This is the hub. This is, think of this as the final pass through the Skyhold. This is the your final moment in Skyhold, where you can talk to anyone and everyone that you want.
Hang on,
to tie up
real
loose ends.
quick. I just want to appreciate the fact that Cedric and Andrea, and I think the rest are all tiny, and there's a specific location for Cedric's stairs. Just want to appreciate that real quick.
Cedric and Andrea, they're not actually physically there. They're just, I had to screenshot something, and they're any of the small characters are not actually there.
Gotcha.
But yes, this is for pretty much the rest of this session and half of the next session. You are free to roleplay with virtually anyone you want, to tie up whatever loose ends you want. So if you'd like to roleplay with Nathan, Daretham, it's up to you.
Okay.
Nathan is going to go into the Temple of Andraste, and he's just so that if you'd like to go speak to him, you can find him there, Daretham. Yeah, Nathan right now, he's in one of the pews, and seems to be in prayer of some sort.
Yeah. Daretham will then sit and will do his own prayer, not to Andraste.
Sure.
But he'll wait for Nathan to finish, basically.
Yeah. It doesn't take that much longer. Within a few minutes, he will finish, and he will open his eyes, and he actually will notice you there. And do you have your eyes shut as well, or are you?
At this point, I think it's open.
I think with that, Nathan will. You're not that far away from each other, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I'm
you can
probably
actually-
on the he's on these pews, I'm on the other side of the aisle.
Okay. Nobody else is currently here other than the two of you, so he'll say, Daretham, I didn't... Don't take this the wrong way, but you don't strike me as someone who comes to pray in the Temple of Andraste very often.
No, I don't really know if I follow a specific god. I curse to the old gods, kind of on habit, but I figured I should have talked to you a long time ago, but better late than never, I suppose.
Talk to me about what?
The whole awakened Darkspawn situation. In fact, that I was kind of hiding for a while.
Yes, that conversation is probably long overdue.
I would have done it before we went to Fortuna, but, well, there was a dragon, so.
What would you have told me then?
The entirety of it. Fortuna, about everything, pretty much.
Well, I've seen Fortuna, and I've obviously seen you and gotten to know you. So I do admit that having all of these things revealed to me all at once, it led to a lot of judgment on things.
I can imagine. Firstly, I am sorry for deceiving you and a fair bit of the group for such a long time. While I had good reason, it still is a underhanded thing to do. And I am sorry for not revealing the whole truth when Balm joined us.
Don't be sorry, Bertham. Be better.
Even still, there's no reason not to apologize.
That's fair. You do realize, though, that you place me in a very awkward position. I feel very obligated to mention something to my father now that I know this information.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to be particularly open-minded. I could be wrong.
From what I've heard of King Maximilian, he does strike me as a severe type, from what I've heard.
The Darkspawn took a lot from him. The Blights took a lot from him.
They took a lot from everyone.
That's fair. But as king, he has the power to change things if he wants to change things, and that's the biggest question mark that I have is, what is he going to do with this information once I tell him?
Indeed. It's, the dwarves don't know. The dwarves of Orzammar don't know, though the Awakened are near them. And I don't really have an answer for you, Nathan. I don't think there is a right or wrong choice in this. I think there is just a choice, and what you think and feel is the right thing for you to do.
I hear you say that a lot, Daretham, that there's not a right or wrong, that it's... You have a tendency to walk the middle a lot.
I do.
And I don't take this offense to this, but it's not the way that I was raised, to walk the middle. To me, that there is a clear right way of going about things and wrong way to go about things. It makes things a lot easier and simpler.
It does. I will also say that I did not always walk the middle. A great example is how I thought of myself before the cure. Before we went to the White Spire, I had a much different opinion of myself and the Awakened. In fact, I was planning on effectively committing genocide on the Unawakened and the Awakened, and then myself. I saw there to be no way for effectively living weapons of mass destruction to, even if they were sentient, to be viable.